not birds of a feather. Sometimes it's like that.
And thank you for staying with Citizen Weekend. Thank you for sending in your comments and indeed your questions to our governor on the governor's seat tonight. That's Kisumu County Governor Jack Ranguma. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you.
People of Kisumu writing in, congratulating you so far, saying thank you for taking the time to be with us here in studio. Let's begin with looking at your work plan. Currently, what are you focusing on, and what areas are we likely to see you concentrating on most?
Well, at Kisumu, we are concentrating on about 5 areas. We are focusing a great deal on food security, just to ensure that our people are fed, and that we also give value addition, so that they have good prices at the end of it all. That's a major problem now. It's a problem with rice, a problem with food and other products. The second thing that we are focusing on is tourism. We have realized that we have had this giant of a lake by the side of Kisumu, a very beautiful and a resource that we could have used in the past. It was not used even as part of the Western tourist circuit. We are focusing on it because that is where we will generate the most employment. And
as we move forward, Governor Ranguma, to the other 3 priorities, a question that is coming in immediately is about the development of Dunga Road. Somebody here saying its construction is key to opening up investment in Kisumu beach tourist hotels.
He can say that Dunga Road is important. I don't want to downplay it, but Dunga itself needs replanning, because when you go to Dunga, it is like a slum area. So we are focusing on Dunga and Nyalenda as part of a different beautiful city that will work alongside Kisumu, and we are already putting up a plan for developing a new Mlimani 2 or a Nyalenda as a city that will look different from slum upgrading, because I want to believe that slum upgrading is still a slum. We want to do away with slums. We want to integrate people, the haves and the have-nots, so that we live side by side, have facilities that will benefit our children and our youth who enjoy things. We'll have a city that have in the Nyalenda, so to speak, we will have everything that you would ever expect in any beautiful place like the Muga you hear about here in Central. And we have 5 slums in the city, so we want to deal with all of them.
And when we talk about 5 slums, Governor Ranguma, this pointing, of course, to you know, the standards of living and the poverty levels, and indeed also unemployment. And these are some of the issues that have been touched here. When you see such a high populace that is residing within the slum area, obviously this is an indicator that perhaps income is a problem, perhaps employment is a problem.
Of course, it is true. Employment is a problem. Kisumu has become a city that deals in trade. Industrialization almost collapsed. But we are focusing, the number 3 item is industrialization. You may know that Kisumu is one of the special economic zones that will be developed alongside with the national government. What we are focusing on, and what we promised our people when we were campaigning, is that we will revive the Kikomis, we will revive the breweries. And indeed, a lot of work has gone into reviving Kikomi, into reviving a brewery, in fact, almost there, and bringing in other industries that will now create massive employment. And if you add that to tourism, then we are talking about sufficient employment to give to our youth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And let's move forward now to, you know, the county government and in particular your county assembly. You know, it has been accused of being extravagant, and there has been talk previously of lavish vehicles, the Prados, and now the fact that you're planning a lavish party and putting in quite a bit of money into that. Your response to that?
A lavish party?
Yes.
In which area?
Is that true? Is that
No,
true? Are you
there's
putting in millions into a lavish party in the near future?
There is nothing like a party that I have planned. I mean, if somebody gave you that impression, then they are wrong.
Okay.
Unless they are talking about a prayer, I am planning, but it's just a player in a stadium. So
Right, and of course, again, you know, just the approving of expenditure of close to 11 million on foreign trips. Another concern that has been on the dailies that is coming in, indeed, from you know, our viewers here, which is bringing in concern on, you know, who is in charge of auditing the revenue that is coming in, the collection of revenue, and indeed how it is being spent within the county.
The most important thing, I think we are one of the most prudent spenders, and as you may know, that my background is finance. I focus a great deal on ensuring that we do the right things. Now, there is a lot of planning going on in all the 47 counties, and people travel. The other day we went to the US. I have signed, I went to Japan the other day as well, and I signed many agreements. I have been to Korea. I signed some agreements as well. Now the next focus for me is cotton, and I will have to go out to agree on the things that I want to be brought to Kisumu so that we move forward with it. All these are planning that puts us in a take-off stage, and I think they have to be done because they are necessary for us to move on.
So people should be patient.
They should be
That's what
patient.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Right, Sekafa and your preparedness for Sekafa, you know, hosting this, and indeed whether the Kisumu Municipal Stadium will be able to host an event of such a magnitude. There has been a bit of a push and pull over this.
No, Kisumu is ready. In fact, before I came here, I received the turf for the stadium, the carpet that will be put, and that is the final one. It will take 4 days to put, so it means when they start putting it tomorrow, in 4 days, the stadium is fully ready to host Sekafa. And I think we should look at it from a different standpoint. Other than Nairobi, Kisumu is probably the much better stadium in terms of where people will go, because it picks Uganda, northern Tanzania, the entire former Nyanza province and Rift Valley. So the interest is intense, is big, and we will not let them down. We are ready. I have confirmed that one yesterday, and today I was there just to receive the turf.
Questions coming in regarding your relationship, the nature of your working relationship with your deputy governor and indeed speaker. The fact that there has been concerns that you know, previous rifts between you know, you and these individuals have been a concern for the people of Kisumu in terms of your development agenda for the county and county governance.
No, I think it is being overplayed. I mean, I don't have a problem with my deputy. I mean, you know, there are perceptions, but I don't believe that these perceptions are right at all. I have a very, very good working relationship now with my deputy. The speaker and the assembly are doing their part as well. They have an oversight role over me, and I cannot expect them to be close to me all the time. I expect them to to do their job as I do mine.
Right.
But we don't have a problem.
Insecurity a concern, and I think you touched briefly on this, and there was the incident that was reported last week of the Nyakach MP, you know,
Yes.
the slaying, the unfortunate slaying of his parents, and indeed cattle rustling in Nyakach as well, an issue. So perhaps this being a priority as well, that I hope, and indeed the viewers hope, that you'll be addressing.
It's not that we'll be addressing, it's a matter that we have started to address strongly. I know it's this rather unfortunate incident, and we have our sincere condolences for the MP of Nyakach, who started on a very good note to begin helping us to also address the issue of cattle rustling in Nyakach. But security overall must be strengthened so that the national government together with the county must move in speed to ensure that our people are safe, our properties are safe. We had a meeting last week with the Cabinet Secretary for Internal Security, Inspector General of Police, and the governor of Nandi, where there appear to be some problems where people have been killed. And we have agreed that we must put our people together to ensure that no more deaths occur in those areas.
And indeed, Kisumu, the lakeside city, known for fish, and people saying that the fish industry is not where it should be. It's got, you know, immense potential, but has not been exploited as much as it should be as we wind up.
It's quite true. I mean, Kisumu, all the fish on Lake Victoria is born in Kisumu. It's just that they don't have a birth certificate, but then they move out into the lake and then they go to Uganda and other places. It is true that the fish industry has not done well, but it was because of the water hyacinth. We are actually decisively dealing with the menace of water hyacinth. It's not there as we speak, and it is not likely to come back. And if it does, we have prepared machines. In fact, at the end of this year, I'm receiving 2 machines that will be stationed in Kisumu to ensure that water hyacinth is not a problem for fishing and also for lake the ferry system that we are putting in place. On
and as we wind up, somebody putting you to task here, and he's saying there's nothing going on the ground 9 months after you took office. You are focusing theoretically. When will you start working on the ground? How can you even think of building a huge sewage processing plant in the middle of Kisumu City? Something is not right. Where are your local investors? Work with local people, sir. We beg you, please work with your local people. Your response to this, and I know this may be a bit harsh, but of course, you know, this is a concerned constituent.
No, I think he has a point. I mean, people want to see a road, want to see this, but even all these things must come at the time they should. In fact, the first thing that I hoped would have been there was a security lighting system. It is just delayed, but it will be there on the ground. There are procurement rules that we must follow. So much as we expect these things on the ground, there are many things on the ground that perhaps it does not know about. We have brought in solar fridges on the lakes that are being used by the fishermen. We have put water into slums so that people can begin to receive good water.
So that is something, of course.
Yeah, of course. There are things going on in hospitals. There are things going on in schools. But you know, when you don't receive this information, probably.
Right. Well, good that you've clarified that. And finally, your plans to utilize the Asian business community. What of their economic power, experience, and self-identification with the region? Why were they left out of your cabinet? How about other people from other regions? I think this being about, you know, your cabinet and the fact that, you know, the balance there, concerns over this.
No, I think we, in the cabinet, we have everybody on board, including an Asian. So if he has not seen an Asian, perhaps he needs to look again. We are trying to balance everybody out to ensure that we move as a team. But you know, it doesn't. A cabinet is only 10 spaces. You can't, of necessity, include everybody.
Right.
We have 7 constituencies, and we have considered all incorporated everybody.
And I would not do the people of Kisumu justice without reading this. Say habari to Governor Jack Ranguma. I know him as an astute and honest man of high integrity, and I believe his focus is right for that great city and county. How does he propose to tackle the issue of cleaning up Lake Victoria? And indeed, of course, the hyacinth, the water hyacinth issue that has perennially been talked about year in, year out, still, you know, an eyesore, and indeed just, you know, of course, of a hazard to fishermen as well. And of course, he's saying, keep it up, Mkubwa, as we wind up.
Thank you very much. Water hyacinth is dealt with. All the others that he says there's are actual too. We are dealing with all the issues that he has raised up there, and there are things that we have we are focusing on to ensure that we remove. He's talking about environmental issues around the lake, and you know, unfortunately for us in Kisumu, there are more than 7 rivers entering in the Gulf, and they bring debris, soil. That's why it is brown. We are actually working to ensure that it turns blue, if not a little blue, so that then we can use it for purposes of tourism as well. We are planting trees. We are planting trees upstream, and we are working with groups, NGOs, together with the Lake Victoria Basin Commission, to ensure that we reduce that level of soil erosion.
And we're done with this interview. But 5 years from now, looking at Kisumu, you know, of course, on a scorecard, there are governors that have come out very prominently as being very development-oriented and being very aggressive, and you know, perhaps have come across as being the ones that are actually working. What are we expecting to see in Kisumu? Are we expecting to see a different Kisumu, and how? Final question. You
know, the most important, Kisumu, for those of you who have who will want to see Kisumu 3 years from now, you better go now and take stock, because in 3 years, if you had not been there, you will receive a shock of your life. Kisumu will be different. We are replanning the entire Kisumu, and when it is done,
what are you most excited about?
I am excited about making Kisumu beautiful, planned with its front towards the lake. I'm excited about Kisumu with industries that employ people. I'm excited about Kisumu with security lights all over, including markets in the county of Kisumu. You know, Kisumu is not only in the city. There are very many markets around there. I am excited about Kisumu, where people can do trade without fear in marketplaces, with light in all the areas. I'm also excited about Kisumu, where we have a vibrant lake transport system that connects Siaya, the ferry system that connects Siaya, Kisumu, Homa Bay, Busia, and Migori.
Thank you.
That will be there.
Thank you so much for your time. Well said, and indeed, all the best of luck. Of course, expectations high. It is your first time as governors, and therefore people really, you know, just demanding that they see change. Thank you so much for your time. We've been talking to Jack Ranguma, Governor, Kisumu County. That's been our guest on the governor's seat tonight. Let's go on with the day's news. And the much-dreaded Madenge plant continues to haunt the Ilchamus community in Marigat, Baringo County, more than 2 decades since the government introduced as a solution to soil erosion in dry areas. But the weed has gone on rampage, killing livestock who feed on it, with some farmers losing more than 200 animals. But just what is this plant that has seen a toothless goat taken to court as exhibit? Brenda Cheriot reports.